Hi everybody, it's Aaron from JumpLights, and I'm here today with Matteo del Ninno. He is the co-founder and chief technology officer of JumpLights, and we're going to talk a bit about under canopy lighting. Now, under canopy lighting has been in the news a lot lately. A lot of people are thinking about it. So, Matteo, why should people consider using under canopy lighting in their grow?
Well, Aaron, under canopy lighting can serve many purposes, and I think the best way to talk about this is through a couple examples. One example is you are replacing HPS lights in an indoor facility with LED lights. Now, traditionally what would happen is you would have a power load and a heat load from those HPS lights. When you change those over to LEDs on top, you can traditionally get as many photons as you need with LEDs, but with lower power. You're also going to be getting close to the point of saturation on top of your canopy with the LEDs on top. And now that leaves a lot to be desired in the mid and low canopy, where you're not at photosaturation. So there's a lot of space for improvement down there. The other thing that under canopy lights do when you add them in this scenario is that they add a little bit of heat load as well. So you're getting heat close to the roots. You're coming in with almost the same power and heat load as you had before, and that doesn't affect your environmentals as much as just changing out HPS to LED on top. So that's one example. And there are other examples. For example, even in a greenhouse situation where you have sunlight coming in and you're only supplementing with over canopy lights, the cannabis plant is very self-shading. So getting to the nodes, the flower nodes on the mid canopy and lower canopy is still extremely difficult. When you're taking measurements, as I often do in customer sites, I can record anywhere between 600 and 1200 ppfd, which is a light intensity on top of the canopy. Now compare that with lighting measurements mid and under canopy, where I can get single digits, such as 5 ppfd. So it's very dark down there and could use a lot of lighting.
So what are some of the results that our customers have seen when they use under canopy lighting? What are some of the benefits that they get?
Yeah, so a lot of the benefit from under canopy lighting is just getting more light on leaves. So if you're limited by light in this photosynthetic reaction, now we're adding more light, and that the plant can process and do more photosynthesis, process more biomass, overall biomass. So you're going to get an increase in overall biomass, but at the same time, more importantly, you're going to increase your harvest index. And now that means more of the biomass that the plant is generating is going to be sellable product. And practically, in the cannabis scenario, your mid and lower flower nodes could sometimes be larvae or less dense and not sellable as flower. And coming in with an under canopy light, you can firm up those flowers, make them more sellable. They could be A or B grade, and therefore change the yield of your A's and B's compared to what you had before. So we've seen huge increases, anywhere between 20 and 100% increase in yield, which we measure as grams of sellable flower per square foot.
Gotcha. So it's not just the overall yield, it's the yield and the quality, the high quality yield that you get from the lights.
That's right. Not to mention the increased bag appeal, where you can have a uniform coloration. So more green rather than what we've heard of as described as camo packs, where you have some green and brown flowers in there. This has a more consistent quality throughout the vertical axis of your grow.
Gotcha. Want to avoid those camo packs.
Yep.
Nice. So you were one of the first people to design and create a purpose-built under canopy light. Now, when did you do that, and why did you decide to invest the time to create a light that's truly built for the under canopy environment?
Yeah, well, I did that because talking to researchers in traditional horticulture at conferences, I kind of got the tip of, hey, lighting has been put into and below canopies in traditional horticulture, why doesn't the cannabis industry embrace this? And when I took that idea to cannabis growers, large and small, the feedback I got was they have tried it. They've tried putting other lighting in, around, and under the canopy with decent results. Now, we came out with the first purpose-built light, which means that we work directly with head growers, sometimes of top MSOs, and we went throughout the full design process getting feedback from them, where they tried putting these other types of lights underneath and around their canopy. That process went through the 3D design process, prototyping, and the first units. And we got first units out in 2020, so we've had the first purpose-built lights for 5 years now.
Wow. So with that design, the under canopy environment is unique. What makes that environment unique relative to over canopy or inter canopy lighting?
Yeah, great question. So that environment is very unique because opposed to over canopy lighting, where you have a lot of space from the canopy itself, you have more space for the light to fall, you have more space for air exchange and gas exchange, which is beneficial for the light, for the cooling of the light. And it's further away from the fertigation and irrigation, and it's further away from when you're harvesting. Now, contrast that to under canopy, where you are right in the thick of things, literally. So you have a very short distance from light to plant matter. You're very close to the irrigation, fertigation, and you are very close to where the harvesting and the loading is happening. So you could get your fixtures bumped. There's less air exchange to cool them, so we had to rely on radiation as a big cooling element. Mm-hmm. We had to secure the area around the LEDs themselves because of the high moisture, high water environment. And we had to make them easily to clean and work around, because in larger grows, you want to minimize the turn time. And, taking on and off and plugging in and unplugging lights is going to create a lot of extra labor when you want to be as efficient as possible during those turns.
Gotcha. So if you had to summarize, what are the things that make JumpLights under canopy lights unique, and what makes them better than some of the other options that are out there? What would you say?
Well, I think the uniqueness was incorporating all of the feedback. When growers were trying to put other lights within the canopy and around the canopy, they noticed that the connectors would fail because light to light, the connection points would get water in them. So, for example, our radiative sides of our under canopy light also act as a conduit where our connectors are within. So they're kind of protected in that area. So with all the kind of unique feedback we got directly from growers throughout this process, that gave us a design that is more rugged than others. It lasts longer. And if you're thinking about an ROI over just the really quick payback that these offer, you're thinking about an ROI for a year, 2 years. You want high light output, high efficacy, broad spectrum, and a very rugged unit. We offer all of those in the JumpLights Catalyst portfolio.
Gotcha. Well, thanks, Matteo. Appreciate you chatting with me on under canopy lighting. And for anybody watching, we'd love to work with you on under canopy or over canopy lighting projects. You can reach out to me, reach out to Matteo. We'll put our contact information in the description here on the YouTube channel and on Instagram. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.